Hello, friends. Today I want to talk about a few different things, per usual. It's hard for me to get my head straight. But the thing that's coming through right now was really clarified for me in a exchange that happened over last night and this morning. And it had to do with, how do I want to phrase this? What comes to mind is dipping down into 3D reality, which I know that sounds a little crazy for people who don't speak in those terms. So let me see if I can figure out how to explain it. Basically, 3D reality is our world that we see and taste and touch and experience every day. It is three-dimensional. We can hold and touch objects and experience them. There are, in my opinion and belief, other dimensions that, are more ethereal. Dimensions where our loved ones go when they pass, for instance, or where, other energies are able to exist that we can't really even fathom how that would work. And what's happening on Earth here is that we are ascending into a higher dimension. Most of us, the Earth itself is ascending into higher dimensional reality. And that means that energy is moving faster, that it's higher vibrational. Some things that can mean for us is that manifestations are happening faster. Manifestations being what you create by your thought and attention and focus on. So again, like I've said before, when we're intentionally manifesting, intentionally creating, we're choosing what we're placing our focus on, and we're trying to create what we want out of that. And then we get into, again, I've talked about this before too, counter manifesting. So you think you know what you want, you think you're focusing on all the positive, but there's all this stuff bubbling under the surface in your being that is not in alignment with what you say you want. And so you're, creating that too. So I know that I've said this a million times, like we love to take advantage and take responsibility and credit for the things that we create, that we want to create, that come out wonderful. Oh, look, I did that, I created that. But when things aren't so good, we don't like to take responsibility for that. We like to push that off in the victim and the blame game. It's not my fault. There's nothing I could have done. It was out of my control. When the fact is it really is all within our control, and every single thing that happens to us happens for a reason. It happens to teach us a lesson in most cases. It happens for us to be able to look within and see what micro adjustments we could make to ensure that we're not creating that anymore. So that's kind of off topic, but why it plays into what I want to talk about is because we're experiencing a lot of polarity and duality in this 3D world, and that's what we're supposed to experience. You can't have hot without cold, you can't have good without evil, you can't experience bliss without pain. That's what our 3D world is for. That's what we came here for, to experience the full spectrum of emotions. And it's playing out on a grand scale in our reality in, unexpected ways, I suppose. So, there's a lot of division in issues, social issues, political issues, pretty much anything. There's always two sides, and they get very heated about who's right and who's wrong, and there's two sets of facts, and everyone wants to point to science and facts, and we want to look at the other side and be like, how come you can't see? Like, open your eyes. Why can't you see what's right in front of you? Why can't you see what I see? And that's a very easy trap to fall into. It's very easy to take up the cause, to try and show people the way, and to uncover the truth, and to uncover the evil, and to show people, what they're missing, so to speak. And even I get caught up in that sometimes. And so I know, and I have known, that whatever I give my focus to grows. Whatever I want to create, I want to focus on. So if I don't want to create division and I don't want to create more fighting and arguing and things like that, then I can't be focused there, because as soon as I focus my attention there, I'm feeding that energy, I'm feeding that timeline, I'm feeding that reality. And not only am I feeding it, but then whoever sees me or, jumps on my bandwagon or jumps against my bandwagon is also feeding that reality. So if we don't want that polarity and that derision and division to exist anymore, then we need to focus on what we do want, and that's unity and acceptance and love and peace. And so it's been this lesson that I've been learning, like, well, how do I do that? So I decided, a while back, like, well, I'm just not going to speak out anymore. And I knew, like, I had spoken out a few times on people's posts, on my own page, where I really felt in alignment with the fact that it wasn't that I wasn't speaking out because I was afraid. It wasn't that I wasn't speaking out because I, couldn't fight the good fight or whatever. But I was really in alignment with the fact that I just don't want to polarize, and I don't want to feed energy into that. And I've pretty much honored that over the past year. Aside from a few, slip-ups in the beginning. And then, with the election confusion and the mail-in ballots and things like that, like, I'm still paying attention to the facts, but I'm sort of detached from them. So I feel like, okay, this is where I need to be, like, paying attention to it like it's a reality show, but I'm not attached to the outcome, because I know that we're going to be okay no matter what, no matter who becomes president, no matter what, medical rights are given or taken. Like, in the end, I know that I'm going to be okay. I have faith, I have trust, I can feel my freedom, and I can feel my truth, and I know that I create my own reality. And I've been doing wonderful this year because I've been coming at it from that perspective. But in keeping even a little bit of my attention on what's been going on, I'm feeding energy to it. I am. And when I feed energy to it, it allows it to come back into my reality in unexpected ways, and in ways that can maybe teach me further lessons. So at the same time that's kind of been going on in my subconscious, and I haven't really known, that I'm still giving power to that. I've been thinking that, I'm doing a good job. I can be detached and curious, and that's okay. It's like watching a show on Netflix. At the same time, I have been really being called to speak out, to speak my truth, to help people in some way. Like, I realize that, the world is changing. I know a lot of things about why that's happening, how it's happening. I know a lot about energy and how to master your own energy fields. I know how to share it with people. I do share it one-on-one. I talk to a lot of people through coaching and energy work and, friendships that I've created online. And I know that what I have to offer is of value, but it doesn't feel like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like the right timing, or it doesn't feel like going in any one direction is really pulling me. And so I've been struggling with that. Like, okay, I'm ready to show up. I'm brave enough. I'm here. I'm ready to do it. But how? How do I show up? And I think that I needed to have this little last pull in my lesson to really get to the root of it, to uncover that last little bit of, like, thread that was holding me in that pattern and holding me in that reality and that fear of judgment almost. Like, when we speak out, like, so this is what really got me recently. So a friend of mine who constantly posts about alternative views, she is very well researched. She doesn't speak out unless she is sure that she has facts to back it up. I've seen it myself. I've researched some of the similar things that she hasn't come to the same conclusions, but they go against mainstream. And so it's very brave of people to speak out when it goes against the mainstream, because they immediately get pounced upon by a lot of people, trying to preach the opposite or say that they're being you know, dangerous, like they're a danger to society because they're speaking a different truth, things like that. And so I really feel for those people, and I really respect them for doing that. But at the same time, I have this dual knowing that they're also perpetuating the timeline. But then I think, we're all doing what we're meant to do. Everything's happening as it's supposed to and unfolding as it's supposed to. And we do need people to be paying attention to the problem, to catalyze others, to trigger others into growth, to trigger others into looking deeper. I just don't feel that that's my place, right? And so I speak up in support of this girl on her post. Someone shared it, and someone, in my opinion, was trying to discredit the information and the source. And I just spoke up that I know her and she's in integrity and I agree with her. And it caused a little trigger, and we had this, back and forth in a private message, and where I owned, what I could of my part in it, and really tried to come from a place of love and understanding, and realized that, there was a small piece of me that was judging the comment, that was reacting from a place of, well, what if I speak out? Now, what if I speak my truth and people do that to me? Like, I hate how that feels, like people trying to discredit or not accept my reality. And so regardless of all of that, what it really showed me was that it's still, I stand by it. It is not about who's right or wrong. We're both right. It's not about good or evil. It's all good. It's not about like this duality and this polarity. It's about really tuning in and understanding that we are all one. We are all connected. We're all in this together. No matter what you think, no matter if you think you're right or wrong, it doesn't matter. So really like removing myself from these hot button issues and letting them play out the way they're gonna play out is totally fine to do. But what needs to be said, and what I was missing, the piece I was missing without this coming back around for me to look at again, was that we truly are creating our own realities by what we choose to focus on. So take any issue in this world right now, any issue that's got you upset or worried or fearful, and listen to the story you're telling about it. And then tell yourself, honestly, is that the story you want to tell? If you could tell any story you wanted and make it the truth, would you tell the story you're currently telling? So to me, that looks like for instance, with the vaccine and the virus, that's a hot button topic that kind of like I've been keeping an eye on. Do I want to tell the story that the only way that I can stay healthy is to rely on a group of individuals that have not really shown themselves to be super trustworthy, but I hope have my best interest at heart? I don't know them personally. I do know there's financial investment involved. Do I want to place the fate of my health in this group of people's hands and inject toxic chemicals into myself that are, for the greater good, that are the only way to keep me from having to succumb to a deadly virus? And in the meantime, knowing that it's not a fully fail-safe plan, like in this story that I'm creating, that, I still could get it. I'm still susceptible. And not only that, but now I need to put pressure on all of the people that I know who don't want to do this, who don't believe like I do. I need to shame them into doing it in order to protect me and my loved ones. And I need to convince them that they're a bad person if they don't do this, because this is for the greater good and this is the only way. Is that the story that I want to tell? Is that the reality that I want to live in? Personally, no. Okay, so an alternate story that you could tell is that you understand how the human immune system works, and you understand that viruses live in all of us every day, all the time, and that the difference between a sick person and a healthy person isn't that they're carrying viruses, it's the viral load, and that we have a direct power over the viral load in our bodies based on how we take care of ourselves, what we eat, the vitamins we take, vitamin D especially, that, taking care of ourselves and taking control of our health and understanding how our immune system works is all we really need. That if we're fully healthy, we're going to fight off any virus before it gets to any sort of load that would be asymptomatically transmissible. And that if we really fully trust in our own bodies, in our own selves, and in our creator, like whatever that is to you, spiritually, God, Buddha, universe, earth, Gaia, source, whatever you call it, it's all the same energy and it's all a part of you. If you trust that there is a magical design to this life, there is a reason that we're here, then you know that you're going to be okay. You know that you're supported. And if not, if you succumb, there's a reason. We all die. You could die, if you sit in your house avoiding the virus, you could die of a brain aneurysm. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go. No matter what we come up with in modern times and modern medicine and inventions and whatever, when our soul is no longer meant for this world, you don't really get to stop that. So that's one story that you could tell. Another story you could tell is that you have no choice. You're powerless. They're stealing your freedom and they're taking away the choice, and they're going to make you put something in your body that's not going to be beneficial to you. And not only that, but it's going to harm you. Or, they're going to make you get sick because they won't follow along and do it too. And they're the enemy, and we need to do something, and I'm powerless to change it. I just have to go along with what they tell me to do because I don't have the power. You can tell that story. That can be your story. And that's the thing that we need to understand is like you can step into the role of creator and create your story and live your life and live your story the way you want, or you can carry your power around, dragging it like a sack behind you and letting everyone else lead the way. So, whatever your truth is, look beyond the stories that we're telling, right? Like, they're important because we do have to live here in this 3D reality, but you're not going to be able to push them on most people, right? And so there is value in sharing what you know and sharing what you believe, because there are certain people who are on the fence, who are resonating with it, but not daring to go there. And so when they see a certain person stand out for what they believe in, that might be what it takes to push them into taking their own power back or living the life that they want. But for the most part, if people are deeply entrenched in what they believe, you're not going to change their mind. And so your energy is really better spent elsewhere. And one other thing I just want to really tie into this is, for me, I do believe that we're all here for a reason. I believe that our souls decide what they come here for, what lessons they're going to learn, what the most likely path is going to be for them to learn those lessons. They choose the parents and the soul family that they come into this life to experience this life with. And, of course, there's free will. So some of us came here as souls knowing that we were here for this change. We were here to live in this insane time where everything is changing. And we were here to be visionaries and to stand out and to say, I'm ready. I'm ready to create the new world. I'm ready to step into my power, and I don't care what anyone else thinks about it. Some of us came here with the option of doing that, and they haven't decided yet. In their free will, they might be riddled with addiction, they might be depressed, they might be stuck in a job and not daring to leave it. There might be all kinds of reasons that we choose not to step into our power, and that's okay too. You can't mess it up. If you came here with the ability to live your purpose and you choose not to, that's okay. Your life's not a waste. You're still learning valuable soul lessons. You're still adding to this creation, this co-creation that we're all making. You're still adding value to people's lives. And it's all of value. There are then some souls that came here knowing that they are not meant to go into this new leg of reality with us. They are not meant to ascend to a different plane. They are here to learn lessons in the 3D and continue playing out their lives there. They decided before they came here that their soul was not going to go on this journey. And that's okay. That's okay. We can't convince them. We can't make them. They get to choose. They already chose. They're going to stay in 3D and they're going to work out their issues and they're going to play on the polarity and the duality. And that's wonderful. We've been doing it for hundreds of years and we've liked it. So that's what their soul needs, and that's okay. And so, they will play that out until they die, or they'll play parts in waking others up or triggering others into growth. But we really just need to bless them and send love. Because by embodying love instead of rebellion and hate and, judgment and fear, by embodying love and sending them off with love and blessings, bless you on your journey. It's okay that you're not coming with me. It's okay that you don't believe what I believe. It's okay that you don't believe that you have your own power to create what you want, or that you want to create something different than me. It's okay. It doesn't affect what I'm creating. But what I hope is that enough of us can learn these lessons, that enough of us can stand out and say these things, even though there are those who may judge, that enough of us can do that and band together to bring in this new reality faster than we ever thought possible, because it's already coming. We're already creating it. The world is changing. We have vast resources at our hands, and we have 100% have the capability to have a sustainable lifestyle, to take care of our earth and take care of ourselves, to have more than enough so that we can have equality, so that we can start to focus on creating from a place of love and, excitement and fun, and instead of creating from a place of lack and survival and fear. We have everything we need, and we've already won. We're already going to get there. It's just a matter of how fast we're going to get there. And the more people who can harness their own energy, retrain their minds from those old stories and old paradigms that we've been stuck in, and focus on what we do want, focus on what we want to create, focus on support and acceptance and love, the faster we're going to get there. So that is what I wanted to say. I hope that this resonated with you guys. And for those of you who didn't, that's okay. I love you. I wish you well. And yeah, I'm here if anybody wants to chat ever or discuss some of these points, or if you're resonating with this information, I'd really like to hear from you, because right now it's really important that we band together with like-minded individuals so that we can harness our collective energy. And it starts with harnessing our own energy and starting with yourself. I love you all. Happy New Year.